Test. 1, 2. Test. Hi, everybody. It's Jen. Good news. Virginia is lifting most of its restrictions at the end of this month. It's Tuesday, and we're going to talk about it. Later in the segment, we're going to get to know our teacher and asana champion, Bethel. But first, here are some studio updates. On May 25th, we will be holding a day of silence here at the Alliance. All of our regularly scheduled classes will be canceled. In place, we will have several silent classes at both locations. A silent class is a class practiced with an instructor who will lead you through the 90-minute sequence with simple verbal cues. We are not including these classes in your regular membership. We're asking you to donate $10, $30, $60, or $100 for these classes, and all proceeds will be going to the Barbara McDowell Foundation, which supports social justice. On May 28th, the mandates on social distancing here in Virginia will be lifted. What does that mean for us here at the Alliance? It means the changing rooms will be opening up and class sizes will be returning to normal capacity. There will be a slow rollout for that, and we will maintain a few classes on the schedule to honor social distancing for those of you who have not been fully vaccinated. Governor Northam has lifted the mask restrictions on the fully vaccinated. So if you're fully vaccinated and you're here at the Alliance, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. So we are here with Bethel today. Let's bring Bethel out. Hi, Bethel.
Hi.
Hey. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This pandemic has seen you blossom like a flower petal. You have opened up like a flower petal blooming. I took your class a couple of weeks ago. You are a low-key hard ass. You are a tough teacher. That's amazing. When did that happen?
I think it's just happened with time. As the time passes, I get more experience teaching, more comfortable, get to know the students and their practice. And I feel like that's always been who I am, low-key badass teacher, a hard-ass teacher. But, it just took some time to feel comfortable coming out and just showing who I am and how I teach. So, I'm sweet. I like to be sweet, but I also like to kick some butt because I like getting my butt kicked when I get on the mat. So
it's reciprocal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's reciprocal. You can't expect somebody to take care of you if you don't take care of them. When you came back from training, I was so honored that you came to see me. And you taught your first class for me, right? For our studios?
Yeah, I did actually. So little secret, I actually had 2 first classes.
Oh,
because
okay.
I had my first class scheduled on a Friday, and then you reached out to me right after I graduated and asked if I wanted to teach for you, and I did. But your class you scheduled me on Thursday, and I was just like, okay. So I came, and I was really nervous because I didn't really know my dialogue. I felt like I didn't know it, and I didn't want to teach the class. And you pushed me, and made me teach the class anyways. And I was just like, wow, that was awful. And I wasn't happy with it. So the next day on Friday, I didn't tell them that I had taught a class because I just felt like they didn't need to know that I didn't want the expectations to be high. So so I had 2 first classes.
Yeah, you were very nervous your first class, and I know you wanted to try and get out of it, but I was like, there's no way out but through. The only way out is through. And you were adorable. And I felt like right after you did your first class, you had some expectations of yourself, which were great. Go learn your dialogue, go study your dialogue. But I feel like you were teaching dialogue classes up until the pandemic hit. And then sometime during the pandemic, this dialogue in you came alive. And there's something about your class now where obviously you know your dialogue, but seems like you might know what you're saying too.
Yeah. So, it's very funny because people would always be like, oh, she teaches a dialogue driven class. She only teaches a dialogue. And, I just never really felt like I really knew the dialogue. It was
Mhm.
just, I mean, it didn't really feel like I knew it, because if I would say anything else, then it would take me out of my place, and then I would just be so completely lost in the posture. Whereas now I can use the dialogue, and, if I see something in class, then I add whatever needs to be added, and then I just pick right back up where I'm at in the dialogue. So, I mean, it just feels more like me. And I think that's
Mhm.
the beautiful thing about the dialogue, is that it's not necessarily your words, but they are your words, because your personality comes out in the way that you use the dialogue, because everyone has a different personality. And even if you're using dialogue, everyone can use a dialogue, but no two classes will ever be the same.
Right, because why does it even called a dialogue in the first place? It's not a monologue.
Mm,
You're speaking to bodies that are in front of you, and that's always going to be an organic moment because the bodies will always be different even though the words stay the same.
right.
So it's a conversation between you and the people in front of you. So probably what was happening is you were coming to life, watching people do the words that you were saying, and understanding what they needed to hear.
And
Right?
yeah, and watching their body move, and just like, wow, it really works.
It works. I told you to do that and you listened. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's
So,
happening.
uh-huh. But you said something recently, it made me laugh so hard. You were like, okay, maybe you'll do it next time. You were telling somebody to do something, weren't listening. It's okay, maybe you'll do it next
Maybe
time.
next time, not today,
Maybe
next
next
time,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're starting to feel that, like, okay, you in front of me. We just have this moment and you'll miss it. You'll miss it if you don't do it.
Mhm.
What does that feel like when somebody doesn't listen? Like, what's your feelings?
Oh, I don't mind. If you don't wanna listen to me, then I try not to make other people's problems my problems. I definitely wanna help though, so, try to help the best that I can. And well, right now we're limited, but, we have a couple students in the class, so there's always somebody who is willing to learn. So I try to reciprocate with that energy more than, some people just they don't wanna listen, so you can't really make them. You can encourage them and try. But yeah, I just think that maybe today's not the day for them, or, maybe they just don't quite understand, because so much is going on, and sometimes you can tell somebody something, but they just don't understand it, they don't know how to process it. So, just, we only have 90 minutes, can't fix everything. You gotta come back.
This is your teacher, people. Come see this teacher. She has got your back. She's not mad at you and you don't listen to her. That's amazing.
No.
A couple years ago, you decided to pursue the yoga competition world.
Yeah.
What got you interested in that?
Well, I always wanted to compete, but I just didn't know much about it. There's a teacher actually, who was big into the competition. So I asked her, and she told me to submit my video, and then I
Mhm.
got a coach, and I was competing, and it was great because I wanted to do it for years, but it's just like, bumping into the right person to put you on the right direction to compete. And I felt like it was a great time, because I was fresh to training, so I felt like my practice was really strong, and I knew a lot more about the postures. So I just was very excited to be involved in the yoga community in any way that I could. So as a teacher, and then now as a competitor.
Mhm.
So I was just having a great time.
Well, I was putting my makeup on earlier, thinking about when the first time you were going to take the stage, and you're only on the stage for 3 minutes, and you just took so much time preparing yourself for
Yeah.
the performance. And it's always a performance, though, right? Like anytime you take the stage, when you take the podium here, it's like taking the stage. The students are looking to you to be at your best.
Yeah,
And
and I wish that we didn't sweat, because then I could do my makeup and hair for when I taught class. So, but yeah, I love getting dressed up and doing my hair and my makeup. But yeah, because I'm always sweating. It doesn't happen often. Or even when students see my hair down, they're like, "Wow, your hair is so long. You never wear your hair down." I'm like, "Well, yeah, we're always in the hot room. This is too much. We're already sweating. It's hot enough." So, but yeah, I love getting dressed up and looking good, because it makes you definitely feel good. Another reason why I practice, makes me feel good.
right. I remember you saying that. We've had conversations before about, going pursuing what's next with your yoga practice, right? But
Mm.
why do we keep coming back to the 90 minutes? It makes us feel wonderful.
Yeah, and there's, it is a beginner's practice, but there's always more, and it's never ending. It's a lifelong practice, so there's always something more to learn, something more to do. It's what I love about this practice. It's just never ending.
Well, what would you say to somebody who's too nervous to come to the hot room?
It's just yoga. There's nothing to be nervous about. I remember my first class, I was very nervous too. Don't know what to expect, right? It's all new. It's heated. You don't know what to wear. What do you bring? What's happening? What are you going to be able to do? What are you not going to be able to do? And it's just like, just turn off all those thoughts. Just come to the class and experience it for yourself. Everyone has to have a first class. I think that even when people bring their friends or their family, they're even nervous for their friends or family because they don't know how they're going to react to it. Everyone has a different reaction to the class, but you just take it for what it is, and then you come back as soon as possible, and then that's how your practice grows and evolves. So,
well, we have our wonderful yogi, asana champion, yoga teacher, and yoga student, Bethel. She's here at both locations. You got to come see her, take her class, and just enjoy and share in the sweetness and joy that is this wonderful human being. Thank you so much for joining me, Bethel. This was great.
Thank you so much, Jen.